Test.
Good. Test your microphone. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another fresh live edition of Thoughts Count Anywhere, coming to you live from the WWDB studios in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you for making us part of your Saturday. Boy, do we have a lot of wrestling to talk about today. As always, though, joining me here at the kids' table, as I like to call it, my far right, your far left, he is the man that knows all there is about Fremont Street and doesn't want to tell us. That's okay. We love him anyway. Mr. Matt Mullen, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, guys?
I'm doing very well. And, of course, the man sitting in the middle, he is the man, the myth, the legend, simply known as Chief, is in the house. How are you?
Morning, everybody. Let's get this show started. We got a lot to talk
We do.
about.
Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Ronald. Good morning, Thomas. Thomas is watching us this morning from his home chateau.
The freaking historian.
That's right. So he is going to be doing stuff online. And by the way, have you guys noticed our social media crew on our Facebook page? I want to thank them because they've got things kick-started with posts and interacting with our audience. So thank you to the social media crew, whose names I will not say simply to protect the innocent. But anyway, we do have a lot going on. But as always, real quickly, since we last convened, Mr. Matt, how was your week, sir?
It was good. It was kind of busy with crazy people a couple of the days, and a couple of the days it was extremely slow.
Okay. How was it? Does a cold affect Fremont Street in any way in terms of the shenanigans and stuff you see?
Yeah, definitely. Because
does it go up or go down?
It goes down because a lot of them are too cold to end up wanting to fight back and argue and whatnot. They just go about their ways and try to warm up. But once the heat comes, drunk hot people involve fights.
Gotcha. Mr. Chief, how are you since we met last Saturday, sir?
I'm doing outstanding. I'm ready to go. And as somebody said, a good agent would be in the studio. So I'll just leave it at that.
That's all, Mr. Listen, let me tell you, Ronald is really making a strong case. I'll tell you that right now. So, Thomas, you're on the hot seat as always, sir.
I saw Thomas commenting, so I guess the assassins have failed yet again.
Nobody asked for your opinion is what Thomas says, sir. This is fun to watch you guys go at it because all it means is the two of you have to work harder to help me, and that's what I like.
And seriously, hey, Ronald, keep the wrestling clips from the Florida shows that you do down there with Gary Galaxy.
Absolutely.
Enjoy watching them.
Yeah, we want to keep that on. And by the way, keep working on the Savannah Bananas. So I did get he did reach out to the media person. I got a carbon copy of his message to the Savannah Bananas media person. We're waiting for a reply initially, and then we'll get involved, and we're going to try to see if we can get them on here.
And
that'd be cool.
Last shout out to Top Rope Collectibles, to Will and Ben and
company,
the admin crew. Always welcome. Thank you, guys.
All right, let's get started because the chief said so. It's time for some rumors, and I hear voices. Let's get started with the first one that's made news the last 24 hours or so. Rumor is that WWE is aiming for a much larger free agent than Jay White. The question, first of all, is who's out there that's larger than Jay White, and who could it be that maybe the WWE has their eyes on? Matt?
I saw rumors that they're trying to sign Kenny Omega once his contract is up.
Okay. When do we have an idea as to when his contract is? Is it around now? It's got to be soon.
It's got to be relatively soon, I would imagine. But they have like the ultimate in with like all these AEW people. Now that Cody's on board.
Absolutely.
He's got the whole AEW roster on his phone.
But are they, he was injured, Kenny Omega was, for 8, 9, 10 months. WWE, of course, has always taxed that extra time, injury time, whatever they call it. AEW going to do that to possibly delay Kenny Omega's availability with his contract, Chief?
Hard to say what.
If you were Tony Khan, what would you do with that 9 or 10 months that he was out? Would you tack it on?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, I would. Here's my question, though.
Okay.
Cody left. Cody was part of the higher echelon in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
We know Kenny Omega. Well, let me go. We know the Bucks are in the higher.
Right.
We know Omega is.
Right.
If it is, in fact, Omega that goes to WWE.
Okay.
What's the problem with the higher echelon in AEW?
It does say a lot, doesn't it? It does say a lot.
It makes me think.
Absolutely. And of course, but over the last year or so, there has been talk that the mood with AEW hasn't always been great. Which is why people like Jericho and at the time William Regal, when he was there, they looked at those guys to be the guys to kind of squelch any concerns in the back.
Right.
So does this where there's smoke, there's fire, I guess, is what I'm kind of thinking about. And I'm right with you with that thought.
Well, the other thing I think about too, what's it like there now with Claudio Castagnoli and Samoa Joe,
Right.
and fellas like that are getting into the limelight. Daniel Bryant,
Right.
getting into the limelight, and you see fellas like Wardlow, you don't see a lot anymore.
Yeah, Brian Cage. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I think there's trouble in the hierarchy there, and some of the fellows have seen the handwriting on the wall after Cody left.
Right.
And that may be what's happening.
And of course, they backed themselves into the same corner that everybody was complaining about with WWE. You have so much talent, but you don't have enough airtime. You got a 2-hour Dynamite, you got a 1-hour Rampage. I believe they still do 1 hour or something on YouTube as an extra show. Yeah. But you have all this great talent. I think they backed themselves into a corner with having too much talent, just like WWE was ridiculed about a year and a half ago.
And I think they have a great women's division in AEW.
I agree with that.
With Saraya and Chris Statlander and
DMD.
And who?
DMD.
She's hurt, isn't she?
No, she just wrestled on.
Oh, yeah. Britt Baker and Ruby Soho.
Yep.
And the women's champion and Jade Cargill. I mean, they got a good.
I think they have probably the best women's lineup in all the organizations, I think, in my opinion, at least. By the way, I want to remind everybody, first of all, thank you for watching us. If you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on the WWDBTV.com YouTube channel, we appreciate that. If you need to go out, going to lunch, if you're back east, if you're just waking up and having your coffee like Jennifer's in Hawaii, but you got to run out and do some errands, on your Android phone, make sure you download the WWDBTV app. If you have Apple products, you need to look for WWDBTV LV. Download it there. And of course, if you missed the show, that's okay. We got you back. You can watch it on the YouTube channel. You can watch it on the Facebook channel. But for all you Roku folks, download the WWDB channel and check out TCA there, as well as all the shows that are called WWDB TV, their home. All right. Rumor is, yes, sir.
The historian said that there's 2 shows on
WWE has 2 YouTube shows.
Yeah, AEW has 2 YouTube shows.
See how popular they are? We don't even know what they are. What's the second one? Well, I don't even know what the first one name is.
I think they do one on Monday and one on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Don't ask me the names, though.
No worry. All right.
But I do watch them.
Rumor is that Dakota Kai getting injured scrapped the plans that were looking like to involve Trish Stratus. She got injured in that last match, right, or something, right?
Royal Rumble.
At the Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah. She took a.
What is the nature of the injury? I haven't seen it. But I mean, I saw
ankle.
Oh, it was her ankle? Gotcha. It was broken or just twisted? Do we know?
But I guess we were supposed to get Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch against Damage Control.
Right.
Probably tonight at Elimination Chamber, but because of the injury, they scrapped all that plan.
Yeah, that's too bad because I think that match would have been a lot of fun to have Trish and Lita back in and kind of going at it. So, all right.
An old school match.
That's right. Rumor is Roman Reigns will headline the Saudi Arabia show coming up in May. No surprise, I think, there, with or without the belt. I think it's headline no matter what, right?
I think he's going to be without the belt, but I think a lot of people are assuming that once he loses the belt, he's going to go on like a
little hiatus,
decent vacation.
I heard an interesting comment this morning. Most of the changes in belts, the championship type belts, went from the good guy to the bad guy. You look at Bruno lost to Superstar.
Right.
Backlund lost to the Russian.
Nikolai Volkov.
So it's always been good guy losing to bad. What if tonight it happens that the bad guy, Roman Reigns, loses to Sammy?
Oh, I think if that were to happen, the roof over the Montreal arena would probably blow off. First, it'll blow off when they introduce him anyway.
They don't have enough Molson beer in the city.
Listen. We'll get to our predictions in a little bit to talk about that.
Wanted to throw that out there.
Backlund lost to the Iron Sheik. Yes, thank you, Thomas, for correcting that. That's why you're the historian. Rumor is Randy Orton could be returning soon, as a gear maker has said that he was contacted by making new shoes for the Apex Predator. I think that's good news. I'd love to see him back. I just hope he's doing it at 100%. Anything short of that, I don't want to see him back in the ring, in my opinion. Could this be his last run, given the injury situation?
I think he's going to be taking it easy for a little bit, like slowly getting himself in there.
Okay.
Probably go to the performance center and get ready and whatnot. But I definitely want to see him get back for one more run. It's definitely one of the – I don't think he gets the credit he deserves for being like one of the greatest of all time and like this era and better than Bruno Sammartino. But
Let's see. It took 11
he should
minutes.
be on some kind of Mount Rushmore for sure.
Is he underrated, do you think?
Yeah, for sure.
You're the head man on here.
Yes, sir. We're all.
This is getting too old. Okay.
So end the
It
debate.
needs to go away.
Older than Bruno?
It needs to go away. Okay.
We don't censor here. You know that.
I'm going to slap you
Well,
then if you don't censor.
That's between you two. I'm over here. But see, I like Bruno
What a
Sammartino.
freaking wuss.
But I like Bruno too.
No, anyway, here's what I think. I talked to somebody a few months ago.
Yeah.
And the person will remain nameless, but
That'll get us rating.
that's okay.
Yeah, but won't get us sued.
No.
But as the individual said to me, when Randy is ready to come back, he will come back. But at that point in time, and that was probably 4 months ago, 5 months ago, nowhere near ready.
Right.
Okay. So I take this with a grain of salt. I want to see Randy come back. I think Randy's done a lot for the history of wrestling in the last 15 years. He is one of the top 10 in my opinion, and I don't want to see him come back till he's 100%.
I
And
agree.
he can get in the ring and go.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that. All right. Most underrated wrestler. If you did a Mount Rushmore of underrated wrestlers in any era, let's just go across the board. I think we're all in agreement that probably Randy Orton's one of those four.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of those ones that usually never make the top 5, but he should.
Okay. So who else do you think would kind of be on that same par of what many people believe doesn't get their just due like others have? People forget he's a 13-time, 14-time champion. I mean, he's right on the heels of everybody else that's had belts up there.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Who do you think from that era or any era?
Who's the guy on WWE with the blonde hair?
Dolph Ziggler.
Yep, there's one. Dolph
Okay,
Ziggler.
that's a good
AJ
one.
Styles.
Maybe now, but I don't think up until, let's say, the last 12 months, almost, obviously he's been injured, so that's taken him out. I think when they paired him with Omos, whatever his name is,
Almost, yeah.
I think that's when he kind of started. I mean, I know they had the tag belts.
What do you
I
mean?
get that.
Or you mean almost?
Almost.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's kind of when some of the luster maybe fell off on AJ a little bit. Yeah, again, they got the tag titles, but we haven't really seen that push that AJ first got when he came in 5-6 years ago, whatever it was. So I think AJ is an interesting addition to that. I like Ziggler because for sure I think he definitely falls into that category.
Yeah, I
sure.
think it's like number 1 on that list.
Yeah, I mean he was pushed early, we know that, right? But then last 3, 4, 5 years, they've really just put him into enhancement bouts. Would you say? Ever since Bobby Roode got hurt, right? Bobby Roode and him. Bobby got hurt. He's been out of action, and we barely see much of him anyway. But Ronald says Gangrel. Ronald also adds Bobby Eaton and R-Truth. I kind of find R-Truth a little intriguing in that list.
And the historian said Christian.
Oh, Christian, yeah. But I think part of that is because Christian was in the shadow of Edge for a very long. I believe a shadow of Edge, especially when they broke up. We know Edge went so much higher got a bigger push than Christian. Would you guys not agree to that?
Oh, for sure.
You know who kind of went away for a while too and has resurfaced recently?
Who's that?
Rey Mysterio Jr. Kind of went away for a while. They took him off of TV.
Yeah, they took him off. Was he about? I know, obviously, the storyline with Dominic and Rhea Ripley and all that, but has he been battling some injuries though that they kind of kept him off for this length of time, or has that just been story to keep him off after being beaten at home over the holidays and all that tussle? And he was injured before Royal Rumble. We know that, which is why he didn't appear at last second, of course. But I mean, he seems to have been quiet. I agree.
Now we're talking all about the men. Any women?
Oh, in my opinion, Natty for one over the years, and to me that's one of the big ones that comes to mind. She's been there for so long.
So Randy, Dolph, Natty, right? I like that three. We need one more.
Who do you think from a female side, Matt? Or anybody? Put your choices in the chat room. Who else on the ladies' side do you think is underrated that doesn't get their just due?
I know I would definitely say Tessa Blanchard. She's one of the best women's wrestlers out there, and because of like a bunch of bullshit, she's not on TV. But if she was, she would be one of the most dominant women in wrestling on television if she was on there.
I'll tell you who else I think. And I know about her room and all this, but I don't think she got her just due. That's Mandy Rose. I mean, Mandy got a huge push down in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
She never got that push from NXT up to the main roster. A little bit she did.
But she didn't get that second push, which was destined to happen with Toxic Attraction. Then everything fell apart.
Exactly.
I agree with that. I have no problem with that. And with Tessa, I find that an interesting thing because while she was on TV and doing her thing, no question, underrated was never part of the vocabulary.
No.
But over the last couple of years, with all that's gone on, that people know about it, at least publicly know, and she hasn't really been in the spotlight for the last couple of years. I think that underrated tag, is appropriate at this time.
Yes.
It's just interesting conversation. Put your names in there as to who you think's underrated, that doesn't get their just due, and we'll talk about that as well. We're going to step aside for our first break. We're going to start talking about maybe the Elimination Chamber. I've got an announcement to make regarding the Power Play Sports Collectibles card show next week in terms of guests, so you're not going to want to miss it. And we'll tell you who else is going to be there and scheduled to be signing when we come back. Don't go anywhere. TCA in the house. We'll be right back.
Thoughts count anywhere. Y'all watching it. These are my new tag team partners, Steve-O, a.k.a. Zeus, from the hit movie Friday, and from No Holds Barred.
Hello, this is Martin Casals, a.k.a. Marty the Mob, and you're watching the Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. Enjoy.
What's up, man? It's your boy, Seven Fatu. I'm here with my man, Big Chief. I need you to check out the podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is Impact Wrestling's Dashing Chris Bay, the ultimate finesser, former Finesse Division champion, and you're listening to Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast.
Hi, I'm Sean Navarre. Listen to Thoughts Count Anywhere for all your wrestling news.
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts Count Anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hobbit all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. The Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
This is the Essential Character EC3 on behalf of my dear friends at Thoughts Count Anywhere. The podcast for your mind when you need deep thinking about all things sports and entertainment.
Hey, what's going on? This is Axe, and I'm smashing the demolition.
Hey, we want to invite you to watch every Saturday morning, Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Hey guys, it's Tessa Blanchard and Ozzy, and you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere.
And welcome back to Thoughts Count Anywhere. Thank you for joining us. A couple of reminders and announcements. Top of the hour, 10 a.m. Pacific, we will have Dirty Dango joining us from Impact Wrestling. He'll be on to talk about what he's got going on with Impact. We'll see him here in Vegas next week, and some other things he's doing. Is he like the assistant DOA or something now? I mean, I saw him this past week helping Santino accidentally book a match. So I was just wondering.
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out.
We're going to ask him the question.
That's right. 10 a.m. today, Pacific time right here. Talk with Dangle about that, the card next week, and so on. The other thing I want to announce, I want to make sure I got everything in order. Just a reminder, if you come down to Samstown next week for the Power Play Sports Collectibles card show Saturday and Sunday, we do have some other people signing. But before Chief announces some of the folks, I do want to make this announcement. This literally just broke while I was out of town back east. I will have one Impact guest coming on to Aaron's Hour next week, which will then make that segment sort of a mini Thoughts Count Anywhere segment, because my guest at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, card subject to change, is none other than the DOA himself, the director of, what is it again? Authority. Mr. Santino Morello will be joining me on Aaron's Hour, hopefully with the Cobra, and we'll continue our talk with him back. That's what?
Yeah,
For real?
Yeah,
For honest to goodness,
So
when
guess
I
what?
lie about
We're
that,
breaking in on
well, that's what I just said, a mini TCA segment.
we're going to jump in there.
That's right.
Huh?
That's why I said mini TCA segment where my guys will join us, except Thomas. We'll have to keep him away. He's not here today again, so no perks for him next week.
fired.
He's fired.
I might have to get Liz to watch the tape.
So,
I'm sorry, Doug.
so anyway, Santino Morello will be joining me at 12:30 p.m. Pacific on Aaron's Hour. We'll continue covering the card show, Impact Wrestling, and all there next week as well. So really excited about having the DOA. I'll have to break out my grandfather's police badge and put it around a little something myself when he comes on the street. So anyway,
Wonder if he's going to bring it.
I hope so. You know what? I hope. Listen, he's the director. Aren't directors always prepared for anything?
Yeah.
I would suspect he's got the Cobra with him.
You better.
Because if
He's probably going to take the damn show over. Who knows?
you know what, if he
And
does,
that's okay,
it'll be
man.
the best rated Aaron's Hour ever.
Hey, he can take the show over and we'll walk off, man.
That's it. It'll be the best damn show I've ever done by not being on it, just like this past week's Kiwanis show. But anyway,
Yeah, well, you know.
you guys want to go to elimination? Oh, now some of the
Hey,
people are going to be there next
So
week.
anyway, Saturday, some of them, Rikishi, Willie Gaw, how about Sabu, the Godfather? Then we're going to go down, Impact. We're going to have, let's see, we're going to have the champ, Josh Alexander, Steve Macklin, Frankie Kazarian. Santino's even going to be signing, Brian Myers, Deanna Peraza, just to name a few.
I'm so glad you mentioned some of the names, because who are our guests for Thoughts Count Anywhere next week? Do you remember?
I heard Josh Alexander, and he said a bunch of maybes, so I don't know.
Oh, a bunch of maybes?
I believe Steve Macklin.
That is correct. That is the confirmation I got last night. So the champ himself, Josh Alexander, and Steve Macklin will be joining us throughout the Thoughts Count Anywhere show next week live at Samstown. So that'll be a great opportunity as well. It'll be a lot of fun. We interviewed Josh, about a year ago, wasn't it already?
Yeah.
He was online from somewhere. Now we get to meet the champ and interview the champ in person. That's pretty
Exactly.
cool.
It's cool.
We're going to have a lot of fun next week. I'm really excited.
Who knows? Maybe Josh will bring his son on. Too.
Maybe he
Who
will.
knows,
And
you
also
know?
maybe we'll have a surprise appearance by the Globe Girls.
Yep.
April Hahn may stop by. She's going to be there, I think, over the weekend. And
Hey, my favorite's going to be there.
Nanichka.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, she's not officially part of it, but I think she's going to come with April and hang out, maybe get her on the show with us. So
For a little bit.
yeah, for a little. That's okay.
She's a busy
She's
lady.
busy. Yeah, but I think we talked about this one of the first times we had her on. Her and her mom, they actually do costumes for many of the people on the strip.
Huh?
And the last time I talked to April, Nanuchka has been very busy making costumes for folks. So God bless them.
Yes.
I'm going to have to get her back. We'll have to get her back on and just talk about that one time.
Maybe she could make us something.
You know what?
TCA. Well,
That's a great idea.
I'm gonna put the book in.
That's a great idea. She may not get it done for next week.
No,
but that'll be great. That's a great idea.
I talked to
Kind of
her.
like a Ric Flairish kind of robe that's
I'll
just
talk-
TCA
talk
across
to
the
my
back.
girlfriend.
Wouldn't that be cool? Come
That'd
out
be
with the feathers and whatnot. All right, let's get going. You guys want to do some report news? You want to go right into Elimination Chamber
Whatever
stuff?
you want. Wherever
Let's
you
do
wanna
Elimination
go.
Chamber.
Yeah.
Because then from there, why don't we bounce then into some Impact news before we get ready for our interview at the top of the hour? How's that sound?
Elimination Chamber.
We'll
Okay.
segue. So tonight, Elimination Chamber, in case you've been living under a rock the last month or so, up in Montreal, the home of Sami Zayn. Of course, Sami Zayn gets an opportunity to become the Universal Heavyweight Champ by taking on Roman Reigns. A lot of things could go on in that match, but we will look at that one. You want to leave that one for last? Because I think that has a lot more to talk about, I think. So let's talk about the mixed gender match. Edge and Beth Phoenix will take on Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. What's your thoughts on that match, fellas? And predictions, because I know Ronald is listening and jotting down our predictions.
I think it's going to be a real good, hard-hitting match.
Okay.
I think Edge and Beth Phoenix are going to finally get their revenge after a year.
Okay.
I think they're definitely going to come out on top.
Okay, Chief?
I think Beth's looking for retribution,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she's going to get it on Rhea tonight.
Okay.
And I'm predicting Edge and Beth also.
Okay. Our historian, the professor, whatever you want to call him, he's picking Judgment Day. I'm going to go with Edge and Beth because if you watch trends on the shows, the wrestlers who get their ass kicked on TV, usually at the pay-per-view and the big payoff time, usually come up with a win. So I'm thinking, I'm agreeing with you guys, Edge and Beth.
And one other thought, Edge and Beth are from Canada also.
That is very true.
I think that may have a little plug to do with the show.
Absolutely.
Tonight.
Absolutely. I think that's a great point, Chief. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. And according to a promo last night, the winner of that match gets a gift.
Yep.
They will go. Apparently, Bray Wyatt has
Uncle
his
Howdy.
Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt have their sights set on the winner of Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley tonight. Who gets it?
I'm gonna go Bobby Lashley. I think it's gonna be a almost MMA type match of like a lot of ground and pound and throws and stuff like that. But I wonder if Bray Wyatt's gonna like directly interfere in the match now.
Could be. Chief?
I got to be honest with you. This one I really don't. Whoever wins it wins it.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I don't have a prediction on this. I'm just glad to see that what Bray said last night. He is finally going to get back in the ring, start wrestling.
Right. Finally getting a story.
Either one of these two guys and Bray will be a huge factor. So
Thomas says no contest as Bray and Howdy interfere. Ronald is picking Bobby. And I'm going to pick Lashley also really for one reason. First of all, in my opinion, this match is probably about 10 years overdue, in my opinion. But because of Brock Lesnar's work schedule, if you want to have a good, solid feud with somebody like Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy, I think you need to be there consistently, unless they have Brock going to be around on TV for a while after Elimination Chamber. Lashley's more available to continue a feud week after week after week, because then that could set up Brock Lesnar coming back later on to interfere in a match between Bray and Lashley. So I'm picking Bobby just based on availability and be able to build a story.
Isn't there something in Brock's contract? He only has to appear so many times a year.
Yep.
So you make a good point.
So unless, again, they make a special arrangement for a feud with Bray up through WrestleMania. And then we see him disappear like he always does after WrestleMania anyway.
Yeah.
Right? But that's why I'm picking Lashley. All right. First Elimination Chamber match for the United States Championship. Theory, Rollins, Gargano, Reed, Ford, Damian Priest. This is, in my opinion, this is a tough match to call. Guys, continue putting your thoughts in the comment section, folks, with your predictions as we discuss them. We'll share them. And if you're watching on YouTube, do the same. We'll get your YouTube messages as well. Did I stall long enough for you to give me an answer?
My thought is Damian Priest.
Okay.
Okay. The one that I will say the upset, Johnny Gargano.
Okay. Interesting. So, but you're out there picking Priest, but if Gargano wins, you're not going to be totally surprised. Right? Okay. Matt?
By hook or by crook, Austin Theory still United States champion.
Interesting.
But I want to see Bronson Reed win.
Well, that if he, I
want to see him do that splash off the top of
the
pod. Yeah.
Wow.
If Theory wins it, okay, who does he go up against at WrestleMania?
Probably. You could start it for a story.
Thinking out.
But how about the person he pins to win at the end?
Yeah.
He loses, and then that person continues the chase through WrestleMania. Any one of them, whether it's Gargano, Reed. My pick for this one, though, because they've
Rollins would make the most sense then.
Yeah, but they've already been doing that.
And I agree.
Right? That's
agree.
the thing. And I love
agree.
Seth. Don't get me wrong. He needs to stay in that limelight, but he's already been chasing Theory for that. In my opinion, the person I think they've been building towards a singles run physically, right? And the possible, I won't say separation, but yes, Montez Ford. This could be an opportunity for him, not only for a great showing, even if he's pinned at the end against Theory to set up a feud.
Right.
But I'm going to pick Ford for this one.
Okay.
Maybe this is his time. Reed, he's back. That's great, but recently back. And that kind of goes back into the wonderful discussion we always have about people
He hasn't
returning.
been back for 9 months to earn a title shot.
This is an elimination chamber. It's different. Shut up.
Give me 4. I'm going to take 4 in that match.
Good, though. We all got a different...
different selection. Now, let's go to the ladies' chamber match. The winner is going to face Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. Okay, so we have the murder clown, Asuka now, Raquel Rodriguez, Liz Morgan, Nikki Cross, Natalya, and Carmella. Thoughts, gentlemen?
This is tough.
This is tough,
This
isn't
is
it?
the tough one.
Absolutely. I agree, it's tough.
After seeing what's taken place the last month, I say Natalya's getting the push.
Okay.
Right now.
Kind of right in line with what we were talking about, the underrated.
I wouldn't be disheartened to see Natalya.
Right.
My heart, Raquel.
Okay. So your actual selection is Natty.
Yeah.
Not surprised if Raquel wins. Okay.
Exactly.
My official prediction is Natalya is the first one eliminated. But I think, like, style-wise, I really want to see Raquel versus Bianca at WrestleMania. But most likely WWE way, it's going to be the murder clown against Bianca.
She looked good last night. She looked real good last night.
So that's it. So there's a lot of ways this can go, and we always have this discussion.
Yep.
Heel, face in a match.
Yep.
Face, heel, heel. Okay, so you have the ultimate face in Belair as your champ. Do you put her in with a heel? If that's the case right now, who's your number one heel on this card? Carmella, right? Asuka's kind of walking the line, just like a Steve Austin, right? He's always perceived as maybe a heel, but he always does the stuff and is really a fan favorite. The only other, Carmella, Natty, Nikki Cross, another heel. Is it her time to step forward? I'm not sure yet.
I don't know. When we watched the match last night, or I did, of Asuka and I believe Liv Morgan, at the end they all kind of went in and cleared each other out, and then standing in the ring at the end was Asuka and Liv.
Yes.
So could it be Asuka? Could it be Asuka against Belair?
I think to sell and to put butts in seats, I think it has to be Asuka, in my opinion, for WrestleMania hype. But again, like has been said, I won't be surprised if Raquel does win.
Yes.
But how does that position the two of them going into WrestleMania? Because in my opinion, WrestleMania, since it's the Super Bowl of pay-per-views, don't you generally want to have mostly heel face matches? Because for a lot of these matches, it's payoffs, right? It's usually the last result. I know your thought on that, but that's why I think his arm's getting warm for he's gearing up. But seriously, but seriously, what saying? WrestleMania being
save your throat. You're over there hacking.
WrestleMania generally being the pinnacle where there's payoffs and things like that. Mostly the matches, from what I can recall, and again, it's just my position on it. You generally have a face and a heel, with the exception of Rock and Cena, as an example.
Yes.
That would break that.
Yes.
But you had Rock and Hogan back in the day, right? So which match for WrestleMania is going to pack the house? I'd love to see Liv honestly win, because the way she's, I'm just gonna stick with Asuka.
The three quarters just kicked in. Down in NXT, Raquel was a heel.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Raquel makes a turn during this match, wins it, and goes against Bianca.
If we see signs of a turn, then I agree with you. But then I can see at the end, let's say, for instance, Asuka and Raquel, right? If there's a turn, and then at that point, I think all bets are off.
Yep.
That's a great angle. So, by the way, quick shout out to RJ Gillette watching. Good to see you, buddy. Been a while since we've seen you in there. Brunette says Liv versus Bianca would be fun. But unfortunately, my concern with that is Bianca, power-wise, could easily overpower her. But that doesn't mean Liv can't win. As we've seen, she has won in the past.
They all thought she was going to lose to Ronda, too, and we saw that.
Exactly.
Do you know where Bianca went to college?
Tennessee.
Yes, she did.
I know she did. She ran track most of the time
Yes,
down
she
there.
did.
See, I do know this stuff.
She's very good track, too.
And your main event, as we hinted before and has been discussed for, seems like months now, Zayn and Roman Reigns. Okay, there's so much here because here's your wild card, Jey Uso. That's really wild. And even Kevin Owens, you can throw Kevin Owens' name in there as a wild card as to potentially getting involved somewhere and causing a scrum, causing something to happen that Roman can retain. Everybody will get booed out of the house, that Sammy got screwed out of a title in his home, blah, 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 blah. Those variables, though, are there, are they not?
Yeah.
And it's hard to really pick a decisive winner because some of those variables are there. However, I've set the stage. Give me a thought.
I think that there's going to be a lot of shenanigans. I think they've made it seem like Jey Uso and Sammy are still like close.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jey Uso is going to be the one that costs him the match.
Okay.
And they're trying to keep Kevin Owens off of TV, kind of like the out of sight, out of mind thing.
Because of the beat up he got at the pay-per-view.
So I think like Kevin Owens is definitely going to get involved, and that's how they're going to set up the Usos versus Sammy and Kevin at WrestleMania.
So let me ask you a question. If you're inside Sami Zayn's head, okay, in his persona for a second, here he is, a storyline that's lasted exponentially longer than was originally anticipated. This is only supposed to be a couple of week thing, little
2 weeks
humor.
thing almost turned into a year.
Exactly, and it's probably been one of the best storylines WWE has come out with in 10 years, let's say, maybe even longer. But put your in the mindset of Sami Zayn. You go out there, you win by DQ, as Thomas puts in there. You don't walk out with the belts, you get the win. But now all of a sudden and the talk about this tag team thing's been also out there for a while. In your mindset, is that a letdown mentally to go from this huge main event picture, not that it's a small drop down to the tag team titles with the Usos, who've held it probably longer than anybody at this point. Mentally, though, you're going from the main event into the tag team competition. Now, if they win, maybe it's worth it. But just mentally, what do you think that does to Sammy as a performer or the storylines to go from top tier to dropping down to a tag team kind of thing?
I'm going to give you my opinion.
That's what I asked for, sir.
If you watched SmackDown last night, unfortunately, there was a little blurb in when Sammy was in the ring with the taping. Okay. But I have to tell you, in the almost 60-some years I've been watching wrestling, that was one of the biggest pops I've ever heard.
When Sammy came out?
When Sammy
Did he come out to his old music? Because there was talks about that. He did. Okay.
That's one of the biggest pops I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
That's for number one. Number two, it's happening in Sammy's hometown tonight.
Right.
Okay. If the WWE doesn't take advantage of the setting, or it's going to be another Montreal screw job. My opinion, Sammy's going to win the belt tonight. Now, in saying that, somewhere along the road before WrestleMania, there's going to be a rematch. Okay. Roman's going to get the belt back.
Yeah, because you can't have anything happen to take the shine off of WrestleMania with Cody.
Okay. Or as I was talking with Matt before the show, you leave the belt on Sammy, you make the belt, you make it Sammy versus Cody. You have the match Roman versus The Rock. Then you have the Usos going against the Celtic Warrior and his tag team partner.
Banger Brothers?
Yep.
Interesting. That's why I say tonight's match for that main event could lead in so many different directions. There's so many different variables, and there's so many different possible directions after tonight,
Let
too.
me throw one more scenario.
Yeah.
What if the Usos turn their back on Roman Reigns tonight and they go with Sammy?
Wow. I hadn't even thought of that one. Haven't even thought about that one. But if that were to happen, though, then that takes out the tag team title possibility of the them going against Owens and Zayn. But
I'm just throwing it out there.
Maybe Jay got to Jimmy and had Jimmy see, how wrong he's been, and like you said, I think that's the last thing that could happen, but it's the last thing people are talking about, and that would make it interesting and a surprise that we like to see.
I'll give you one prediction for tonight from the Chief. Paul Heyman's going to get his lights knocked out.
By whom? Sammy?
Just wait and see.
Wow. Whenever he does that, he always has inside information that he doesn't share. Anyway, you know what we're going to do? We're going to step aside for our break a little early so that we make sure we get done some of the things we want to cover before we get to our interview at the top of the hour. That's right. Top of the hour, Dirty Dango from Impact. Next week, they'll all be out here, of course. We'll talk about that, and we'll also share some of the other stuff. Do you have any more Saturday signings you want to share, or do you want to wait till the second hour to go into some Sunday? We'll talk about that during the break. You're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. See, I did that to Saul long enough, so John, we're going to go into break. We'll be right back.
Are we going to break now?
We're going to break now. Taking a break.
Anxiety, depression, PTSD, ADHD, pain, inflammation, dealing with mental or physical health issues, or know someone who is? Relax, refresh, recover, revive. Natural health alternatives using hemp-derived CBD and other cannabinoids found in hemp are increasingly becoming more effective in managing various symptoms that affect your body, state of mind, and daily life. Planet Harvest Health's mission is to help those looking for natural, new, and better solutions for a healthier way of life, specializing in small batch, handcrafted alternatives, providing higher quality and a cost-effective product. Go to planetharvesthealth.com for more information and education on how we can help you.
Hello folks, this is Mac Jackson Jr. from Vanderson Cyber Group. The problem with businesses today is that they are affected by cyber attacks from around the world, but companies are not sure of what to do. Normally, they are reactive instead of proactive. But folks, cyber attacks can affect your bottom line and will affect you financially, legally, and your business reputation. Here at Vanderson Cyber Group, we can help you develop a policy by training your employees on what to do if they are involved in a cyber attack and how to mitigate it and fight against it. Folks, we call it here #StayCyberWoke. And that's Vanderson Cyber Group here in Las Vegas and around the world. You can reach me, folks, at VandersonCyberGroup.com or my website, MacJacksonJr.com as well. Here locally, 702-868-0808. Give us a call today, folks. We must fight back.
Hi, I'm George Miklos.
Hi, I'm Rick Upchurch.
Hi, I'm Aaron Phillips, and we are
The Round Table.
Check us out.
Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Time Live.
On Facebook page as well as WWDBTV. Video. Hi there, welcome back to Thoughts Count Anywhere. That's right, the show that's where points are awarded, but the points don't matter. That's the wrong show. That's whose line is it anyway? Thoughts Count Anywhere. Matt, Chief, myself, we're discussing Elimination Chamber. Discussion even during the break continued about the main event possibilities. Yes. That's how intriguing and how many variables there are. So with that, just want to remind everybody at the top of the hour, if not a few minutes early, we'll have our guest coming on. We have Dirty Dango coming on from Impact Wrestling. Talk about next weekend. We'll talk about his now being at Impact, which I think is an exciting part to share. All right, but let's go into some Impact news. Why don't we segue into some Impact and independent news? How about we do that?
That's Mr. Dirty Dango.
Mr. Dirty Dango. But before we do that, Chief, you have a couple of names about who's appearing Saturday next week for signings.
We're gonna have D'Lo Brown coming in, Sabu's coming in, Anthony Miller's coming in, and then more Impact. We've got Josh Matthews, the Motor City Machine Guns. We've got Santino Morello and Frankie Kazarian.
So isn't Santina his niece or cousin or something?
Santino Morella.
No, I know. But wasn't there a Santina Morello back in the day that was his sister or long-lost cousin or something?
His sister.
Right, okay. That's okay. It's easy to get confused. I was just making sure
The director of
Authority.
Yeah.
Authority.
And don't you forget it.
That's right. That's right. Hey, did you guys see the Young Rock show this past weekend? Do you guys watch it at all?
Yeah, but I didn't see it.
You haven't seen it? I think I watched it this morning, and quite frankly, I think it was one of the best episodes. When you watch it, I'll just say that it's a story about honoring High Chief Peter Maivia. I'll just leave it at that. But the story that they show around that is, I thought, was one of the best episodes thus far in the entire series. So hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did. All right, let's talk about Impact. We have some matches there to announce, of course. Let's talk about, last week we had Brian Myers on, right? We know he's part of a four-way next weekend to become the #1 contender. He's going up against PCO. Then the winner of Steve Macklin versus Rhino, and then the winner, he won that match. Yeah. And then Eddie Edwards, right? Oh, Heath won? That's right. He got distracted at the end. That's right. So we now know it's Heath. We know it's Steve Macklin, PCO, and Brian Myers in the four-way for that. Heavyweight bout, the champ, Josh Alexander, takes on Rich Swann. We have also Mickie James putting up her title against Masha Slamovich. Great, interesting little match she had this past week on Impact against Alicia. And she pretty much dispatched her pretty quickly. And then her, Mickie, of course, got into it afterwards. Six-man tag team, Time Machine will take on the Bullet Club. And of course, card subject to change. Giselle Shaw will take on Deonna Purrazzo. Giselle will also have local favorite Jay Vidal there with her ringside.
Did you see that? What happened?
I did not.
With the chili?
No.
Oh, yeah. Somebody brought chili and JAI had a white cashmere sweater on. And
it wasn't white anymore.
The chili went on Giselle and Jay.
Oh boy!
Complimented Deonna.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was great.
And then let's see, Jonathan Gresham will take on Mike Bailey. Now, Thomas did put in there was another thing announced this past week on Impact with the highly contentious friendship between Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray. Now, kind of, they're at threads after all these years. And of course, for those who don't know, they are also co-hosts on our, what number are we at? 2,366,000 favorite other show, Busted Open.
Yep.
And apparently, Dave LaGreca is going to be sort of hosting-ish. They're calling it the Busted Open match or Busted Open roundtable to try to help their relationship get back on track.
Yeah, I saw where Tommy and Bully were there on the TV show Thursday night, and the director of Authority was between them trying to smooth things over, and so it's led to this now where Mr. LaGreca is going to have both of his co-hosts on the segment of Busted Open.
And let's not forget, Mickie James is also a sometimes co-host too. And does she get involved somewhere? Because it's supposedly you've seen Tommy and Mickie, right?
Yes.
And Bully and Slamovich in a way.
Yes. Could it spill over possibly? Who knows?
Because they are filming they're doing a Busted Open at the Nerd the night before with Bully, Tommy, LaGreca, and Mickie James.
Yeah.
So
but I think they're doing that as a regular Busted Open show. Are they not?
I think so.
They're doing it Friday night to tape it Saturday.
I believe. Yeah, and I doubt anything will happen. Listen, anything can happen.
You going to that?
But we'll see.
It's going to be. You know what? It's going to be a great weekend here coming up in Las Vegas, the 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Yes.
You got Impact in town all 3 nights. Pay-per-view Friday night. Then you got TV tapings Saturday and Sunday.
That's right.
And so there's a lot of wrestling out here for fans.
Absolutely.
And if you want to come in, and again, got Power Play Sports stepping up with a huge
$5 admission fee, right?
$5
to get into the card show.
And they even get you a raffle ticket for I saw some of the prizes.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. It's worth every penny.
Then from 9 to 11, some wrestling show, Thoughts Count Anywhere, will be hosting their show live from there as well. And then 12 o'clock.
Wait, is that this weekend?
That's this upcoming weekend. A week from today, John. Put it on your calendar, will you please? And also, too, yes, thank you, Thomas. They're also doing a Beat the Clock challenge on this upcoming week's Impact, where the winner gets to speak first during that interview with Dave LaGreca during that Busted Open little thing that they're doing. So,
does it really make a difference?
No. Tommy said this morning with Bully's accent, he thought he said eat the clock. Now anything that comes to eating, Tommy's in. He didn't realize it was beat the clock, so he's a little nervous. But it should be an interesting match this week.
So you know what, for the wrestling fan, and you all know I'm a mark. I'm so ready for this. So ready for it. I want to see the machine guns. I want to, Frankie Kazarian coming back. You got Alexander. You got Mickey James.
Yep.
Quality wrestlers.
And they got us.
One name I haven't mentioned and I won't mention, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
You have one name that you won't mention. What?
One name I have not mentioned.
That's going to be at the event.
That's going to be at the event. Yes.
Are they with Impact?
Yes.
Okay.
Ralph Nader.
Ralph Nader. Okay. Okay. Let's move it. So let us see. Let us. All right. Let's see. Let's talk about what we have going on here. I have no idea anymore. Let's talk about Jerry Jarrett. We were remiss. We didn't talk about that at the beginning. Jerry Jarrett passed away at the age of 80 this past week. Father Jeff Jarrett, and of course, one of the biggest names in wrestling for many years. What do you think his legacy will be in the business?
One of the best promoters.
Okay.
Jerry's up there with Mr. McMahon. I mean, and Bill Watts.
Okay.
During the territories, Vern Gagne. Jerry put Memphis on the map, and with him and giving Jerry Lawler his start. And then you bring, Jeff got into it. Jeff actually started as a referee when he started wrestling professionally. Was a referee, got beat down in a match in Memphis, and became a wrestler. 145 pounds, soaking wet. Became a wrestler, and look at where he's at today. His legacy is going to carry on.
Right.
In Memphis, Lawler will make sure it carries on, and so will the other guys that are there. They'll make sure it's carried on. Jeff will make sure it's carried on. It's like Jeff's mom. Jeff's mom said to Jeff that his father wanted him to wrestle Wednesday night in the match he had on TV.
Correct.
Says something about the credibility of the family.
Sure.
And how Jerry thought.
Sure.
About the business.
Right. Matt, your thoughts on Jarrett?
I think he'll definitely be remembered for the Memphis territories and the amount of people he brought in that turned into gigantic stars from the start, and also for creating Impact Wrestling. He's like the last. I think he's like the last territory promoter left. Was the last territory promoter left, and condolences to the Jarrett family and everyone he's worked with. Even The Rock sent a huge message to him, because The Rock started in Memphis.
That's right.
Macho Man was down there.
Yes.
Rick Rude was down there.
Yep.
Not the one man gang, but what the hell was his name from Atlantic City?
Bam Bam.
Bam Bam Bigelow got started. Scott Hall was down there.
Yep.
So you look at Jerry Jarrett, you look at Roy Lee Welch, you look at the greatest. Those names right there were and in some instances still are wrestling in Memphis. Jarrett was one of the leaders.
Right.
I've got a book that I bought a couple of years ago about Teeny, who was married to Jerry, and is Jeff's mom. And the boys, so to speak, didn't like her.
Right.
Because when they were wrestling, and she would travel around for Nick Goulas take care of the wrestling shows. Well, you know, you had your floozies hanging around.
Right.
Well, Teeny, she'd be counting the wrestlers and watching them and everything. And if they got caught going out the back door to one of the floozies, man, they didn't wrestle. They didn't get paid.
That's right.
And they got gone out of the territory.
Yep.
So that's a little background on the family.
Special shout out to Elizabeth Miller, who's in the chat room.
I thought she was grocery shopping.
And for those of you who are keeping an eye on the chat room,
hi, hon.
We may have to have a kendo stick or to be Aaron's agent match on a pole because Thomas and Ron
Are they going?
They're going at it in the
I
chat
haven't
room.
read anything.
That you know. So anyway, you can look at that during the break.
Okay.
So Thomas says, if you don't provide the Savannah bananas, Ron will be excommunicated. So,
You
all
know
right.
why they won't show?
What's that?
They're yellow.
The Savannah bananas. There's a reason you're on that side of the camera, John.
What's up with that?
All right. And a tag team, ladies tag team that we are very familiar with here due to UWW, the Renegade Twins
Hell yeah.
are now the NWA Women's Tag Team Champions. Congratulations to the Renegade Twins. That's so cool.
Hell yeah.
Making their mark.
Those two should be on national television on a weekly basis.
Yeah. Don't they every once in a while pop on AEW, don't they?
Yeah.
Every once in a while. They need to be regulars.
They're good heels.
Yep.
Off the record, they're great ladies.
We've gotten to know them over the first UWW cards here in Las Vegas. And I'll tell you what, during UWW3, during the intermission, I went and I interviewed them when they came out during the intermission. And let me tell you, being in their aura to do an interview with them is pretty frightening. They know they ain't taking gruff from anybody. So congratulations to the Renegade Twins. And hopefully you'll keep them a long time. And it'll be interesting to see if they get booked for UWW4 down the line, if they're allowed to bring the NWA belts with them to show as well. That'd be pretty interesting in my opinion. All right.
Why not put the NWA belts up at UWW?
Well, who are the new ladies tag team champs at UWW? Have those two tag teams go against each other for all gold.
The Renegade Twins.
The Renegade Twins.
One going in one corner, one going the other.
All right.
All right. Oh, there you go. We're gonna go to break, but apparently, which is really great, we have our guest who's already logged in with us, and we are so excited to have him here with us here on Thoughts Count Anywhere, Matt, Chief, and Aaron. And from what I can see on the screen, it looks like he is in a car, hopefully in the back seat, safely being able to interview with us and not driving the car at the same time. But it's with great pleasure that we welcome to the show, Mr. Dirty Dango. Good morning, Dango. I'm Aaron. That is Chief. And we have Matt on the end. How are you this morning?
Setup you guys have here. This is very, very professional. Awesome.
Well, thank you.
We try.
We try. We spare very little expense to make it happen, but we
I'm not
appreciate
being sarcastic. No, I'm not being sarcastic. Very, very cool. I've done a lot of media, and this is one of the coolest ones I've done. So,
well,
thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. We're touched by your thoughts on that, and thank you for taking time with us today, Chief.
My 3/4 half-timers kicked in.
Okay, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, Chief.
Hey, welcome, Mr. Fandango. Mr. Dirty Dango, welcome.
We'll edit that out in post-production. Don't worry about it.
My false
teeth slipped.
No, we are live, but on our Roku channel, we put up a recorded, edited, cleaner version. So we'll take care of that. That's an accidental slip. But anyway, are you traveling to somewhere to wrestle tonight? Here, it looks like you're on the road.
Yes, I have a show here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Middle of Amish country.
Yep. I'm touring Amish country as we speak.
There's a lot of leaves and grass to tour there, a lot of wagons. That's probably about it.
It's a very beautiful place.
No, it is. Lancaster is a beautiful part of the country. So, all right, let's get down to it a little bit, shall we?
Hey, Dirty, are you from that area, sir?
I love that you call me dirty.
You picked up on it, didn't you?
I'm from
Dirty, it looks like where you're traveling, we're having just some intermittent breakups with your connection. So just be aware with where you are out there. Sometimes the internet may give us a little bit of a hiccup as it appears to be doing right now. So I don't know if you heard Chief's question, but he asked, are you from that area? Where are you originally from?
I'm actually from Portland, Maine. I live there
now.
now.
Portland, Maine.
I reside there now. Portland.
Okay. So the big question is now it has been reported that you have signed a 1-year contract with Impact Wrestling. We're here. Those of us here are excited to see you with Impact. Why Impact? What drew you to the great possibilities within Impact for yourself?
I've got a lot of friends there. You know, I came in October in Albany, and you know, the people in the office that work in the office, everybody there, I've worked with in the past, the writing crew. You know, it kind of, it just felt like the right place, the right time for me to sign a 1-year deal.
Nice, very good, gentlemen. Question:
Who do you have your eye on? Who do you want to get in the ring with at Impact?
There's the whole roster is stacked, you know, male and female. You know, I got a lot of respect for Josh Alexander, talent, and I'd love to get in there with him for sure.
I think that would be one heck of a match between Dango and Josh Alexander.
Heck yeah!
Got you.
I don't think he gets enough flowers coming his way. You know, I think the people he can really do in the next year or two.
Okay, that's fair. Chief?
Mr. Dirty, I've got a question for you. Why would, if a fan's coming out, why would they go ahead and buy a ticket to Impact Wrestling?
Not only do they have some of the better, but the storylines have really gotten better over the last 6 months to a year. You know, Santina Morella has come on board. Myself, they're really intriguing right now. I'm having a great time working with Santino, and you're going to see some really funny stuff coming up here in the next month.
What we saw this past week is the match that you sort of inadvertently created with, wasn't it? With I'm sorry, Jonathan Gresham, and they're teaming up coming up soon. Is that right? If I saw the show correctly.
Those two guys are unbelievable in the ring, man. Some of the stuff they can do, I can watch their matches, and it's just unbelievable what they can do. I got a lot of respect for those guys, and each promo we did with them was really funny. I'm the new junior deputy.
So you're junior DOA.
I'm the.
Do you have a smaller badge than Santino to show that you're only a deputy?
I do.
Okay.
More ways than you could think.
Well, we'll save our rating and not allow those. We'll talk about those next week with you when we see you here in Vegas. But do you have something you have scheduled pulled up? You're going to be signing while you're out here also during the card show, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're doing I'm not exactly sure the time. Saturday before we tape TV in Vegas at the memorabilia shop.
Mr. Dirty, just to keep you up to speed, I got your back. I just want you to know that you're going to be signing Saturday at 12 p.m. So I hope all the fans come out, support all the signers, especially Mr. Dirty.
You remember that Saturday Night Live sketch? Just remind me of that guy.
Oh, hey. I'm humbled. I'm humbled, my brother. I am humbled. Thank you very much.
truth be told, Mangos, that between the three of us up here, we have probably close to 100 years of wrestling fandom between us.
3/4 of it is this guy.
Right, and three-quarters of it is the old guy between us here, but he's the youngest in spirit. So to have an opportunity, first of all, to welcome you to our platform is an honor for us as hosts, but also as fans to be able to talk to you, and then to be able to say hello in person next week for us is just kind of icing on the cake. So do try to keep our done inward as much as possible to be professional. So yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
Remember when you come in, because the chief will holler at you. That's for damn sure.
And then run the other way. So, with Impact teaming up in New Japan for Multiverse United, who is your dream opponent that you want to face from New Japan?
I mean, they got so many great talent over there. I can't really. Hashi, I was a big fan of Jay White, guys like that. Really great matchups, dream matches with them, kind of integrating and yeah, I guess but just like Speedball and Gresham, those guys. I sit back and I'm like, man, I can't even fathom them doing some of the stuff they can do in the ring. And just as a fan, I'm really matches.
There you go, Matt.
With you doing like signing at the card show and stuff, and doing like different comic cons and stuff, is there anything out there you collect or anything you go through the tape floor hoping to find at some point?
It's a great question.
Say that again. I'm sorry, you were breaking up.
I said, like, since you're doing like the signing at the card show and you've done like signings at like comic cons and stuff, is there anything you're looking for, you collect, you're hoping to like run into like sometime?
Dude, long story is my nephew on cards. So I would do the signings and buy him all these expensive rare cards, dollars on Pokemon cards. And then this year he doesn't like Pokemon cards anymore. He's into football and baseball. So I guess I'm looking for baseball cards this year. So I was a day and I have all my dad's Topps cards from the 60s and 70s. So for like Pete Rose or something like that, I'll try to pick it up. But yeah, I'm spending money on my nephew, and he probably won't like the cards next year. So hopefully he hangs on when he's older that he can sell them at least.
Well,
for that year, he's gonna have the best uncle on the planet.
That's right.
Until the next one.
Yeah, but a 2-year-old nephew now, so I have to go through the whole thing again, and then hopefully when I have kids, just the money never stops going out. So, but I will.
Amen to that. Let me tell you, my kids, money doesn't flow now. No money trees have been created as of yet. That's for darn sure. Well, if you get a card from like Ricky Patrick Mahomes for your nephew, I'm sure he'll appreciate that one. So that's.
Did you guys see his interview, Patrick Mahomes' interview the other night on like Jimmy Fallon or one of the late, just like Kenny Powers? I'm not sure if you watched it on. I think it was Jimmy Fallon, but he sounded just like Kenny Powers cutting a promo. It's kind of funny. I don't have any of his cards.
Well,
it was kind of funny seeing him give the Super Bowl trophy to a fan on accident.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Here's a gift for coming.
You think he had a couple?
Yeah, just a few to celebrate. When you're a 2-time league MVP and a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, I guess you can get away with it. We have your
tequila or whatever. They had to escort him out of, so.
Jeez. Hey, we have a question that came in from our chat room. What match are you looking most forward to at No Surrender next week?
The 4-way with PCO and Myers and Millheath. Macklin. I think that's such a weird bunch of talent. I think it should be really interesting to see all those styles kind of clash in the ring, especially with PCO. I've been in the ring with him over the last year or two, and that guy is just he's not slowing down. I don't want to say how old he is. I'm not exactly sure, but some of the stuff he's doing, I'm on the apron. I'm like, it should be an interest. I like matches like that where you kind of have a mixture of styles. So I'm looking to. So I like to see my buddies go out there.
When Impact was here last time, he did a couple spots on a chair. And I was like, this guy is not human. I don't care what anybody says.
Match with him, some like 12-man at WrestleCon last year, and Onita was in the match. And I got off the apron and walked to the guardrail because he was taken to the apron and to the floor, and I'm just like, holy crap, man! Wow. So
there was a spot here where like the chair was like set up on like both sides, and he got superplexed right on top of both chairs. And I was just like, nope, I wouldn't do that now. I couldn't imagine at his age. And he came out like from the back, like nothing happened at all. I was just like, you're not human. Whatever kind of cyber.
It's
all right.
Very in the 90s. I just hope Carl doesn't get hurt. There's no long term. This stuff this far, I mean, probably can't hurt him now.
So you talked about the Fatal 4-Way. Who's your pick to win?
Probably PCO. I'd go with PCO. I mean, that guy's a wild card, man. And I don't know what they could do to keep him down. I'm a big fan of his. I've been watching him for years, obviously. And he's kind of researched, he's reinvented himself over the last 10 years. And it's really cool to see him kind of this new character and, be really relevant today. And just
Hey, Mr. Dirty. Next question from the old guy here.
Mr. Dirty.
Who, yeah, buddy. Who,
there's like a delay.
Who did you get your start with training-wise? Who trained you?
I started with Walter Kowalski School up in Boston in 2003.
Oh, wow.
And then eventually I went down to and then eventually I'm training with Bill DeMont at Deep South Wrestling in Atlanta in 2006.
Right on. Bill DeMott's another great name in the world of professional wrestling.
How was it training with Walter Kowalski, better known as Killer Kowalski?
I was there with him, and so he would come in just on like Saturdays and kind of poke hands on as he was with guys like Triple H and Saturn and China, but and get to meet him. And it was Mike Hall was kind of the lead trainer at Kowalski School at that time, so I with my my training.
Matt?
I always ask the last question for everybody. And curious, since Impact Wrestling is coming to Vegas, I usually ask a Mount Rushmore question, but since Impact's here, what's your Impact Wrestling Mount Rushmore?
Damn, you got to go with AJ, right? I'm gonna say some weird, obscure names. AJ, Raven, one half of the Johnsons tag team from Nash, and Jeff Jarrett.
Okay,
those are good.
Those are your picks. You're entitled, sir.
Those are my picks. I'm a weird guy. What do you expect? I'm a weird.
Well, here's guy. Say something. Okay. So here, like, Dirty Dango's up at Impact, a couple of when he started. Now he's working as assistant deputy, and Barry Horowitz comes in and wins this match and is retired now at Impact 1-0. Any coincidence there, Dango? Did you help him win his match the other night?
I can't. Stars in the universe in the wrestling world are aligning perfectly. When you got Dirty Dango, Barry Horowitz, and the Kiss Demon all on the same show. I mean, what's next? Glacier? I mean, Ernest the Cat Miller was on the show back in January.
Demon was on.
How about Disco Inferno?
I don't know. I don't think he does a lot of book. I don't see him out on like he doesn't do like signings and stuff.
No,
I think he gets too much heat on his podcast.
You know,
I'm just kidding.
do.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love you, Disco. He always puts me.
You know, Mr. Dirty, I do have a question.
Sure.
How much are you allowed and the other fellas and ladies to help with your storylines in your matches? Do y'all get to
partake in creating them?
Yeah.
Impact's great, man. They're really receptive. The writers that work there, in the past, so they know my personality. They know who I am. I have a so they kind of get my humor. So I kind of just pick with some of these guys that I've worked with in the past. So when they write, they kind of already get my character, which is really cool. And they're really receptive, and they don't really micromanage. So they kind of give you their bullet points where they want to go, and you kind of fill in the rest. I'm not really good at remembering line for line, paragraph for paragraph. So I'm more on the fly type of guy.
Appreciate that.
I think being on the fly is more natural for people anyway. All right, with that, Dango, thank you so much for taking time on your travels through Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
That's Mr. Dango.
Oh, sorry, Mr.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. The driver, I told him, hey, I got media at 1, and we didn't get to until a little bit late. So I apologize for the bad reception. So
no, that's technology for you. I think it's fine.
Hey, Mr. Dirty, I'm looking forward to meeting you next Saturday, sir.
Saturday at noon at the memorabilia shop, right? What's the name for me?
It's the card show.
Very much
at the same casino that Impact is. It's going to be on the second floor.
Awesome.
One of the balls.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Semstown.
So I'll meet you guys. I'll see you Saturday then, right?
Yep, we are actually doing our show from there live on remote from 9 to 11. So if you happen to be wandering through before you get to your table, we have a seat ready for you if you want to quickly come by and say hello.
I'll come in and put myself over for 5 minutes.
There
you go.
Dango, safe travel, sir. We thank you.
Thank you guys very much. I apologize for the bad service Saturday around noon.
No worries, man. We're good.
Get a win tonight.
30.
Thank you, Dango. We'll see you next Vegas. Thank you again.
See you, boys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, there you have it. Mr. Dirty Dango.
Mr. Dirty, that's all I'm going to call him.
I know. I'm just,
man.
Hey,
I got a shout out. Yeah, buddy.
All right, once again, before we go into commercial break, thank you to Impact Wrestling, Ross, and Scott, of course, for helping us from Power Play to facilitate time with Dango. Again, great stuff. Thank you again. With that, we're going to step aside for our break in the second hour. We come back, a lot more to do. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
This is John Cena. I just wanted to send you a congratulations on your podcast. Thoughts count anywhere, because indeed they do. Thoughts are important. I mean, what would we do without them? And how can they not count anywhere? Is there a place that thoughts don't count? I can't think of one. Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much, congratulations, and good luck on the podcast. Thoughts count anywhere, because they do.
Thoughts count anywhere. Y'all watching it. These are my new tag team partners, Steve-O, a.k.a. Zeus, from the hit movie Friday, and from No Holds Barred.
Hello, this is Martin Casals, a.k.a. Marty the Mob, and you're watching the Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. Enjoy.
What's up, man? It's your boy, Seth Fatu. I'm here with my man, Big Chief. I need you to check out the podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is Impact Wrestling's Dash and Chris Bay, the ultimate finesser, former Finesse Division champion, and you're listening to Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast.
Hi, I'm Sean Davari. Listen to Thoughts Count Anywhere for all your wrestling news.
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts count anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hobbit, all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. The Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
This is the essential character EC3 on behalf of my dear friends at Thoughts Count Anywhere. The podcast for your mind when you need deep thinking about all things sports and entertainment.
Hey, what's going on? This is Axe, and I'm smashing the demolition.
Hey, we want to invite you to watch every Saturday morning. Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Hey guys, it's Tessa Blanchard and Ozzy, and you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere.
All right, welcome back. Boom, boom, boom. Thoughts Count Anywhere. Back on the air with you. Thank you to everybody who's watched. Hope you enjoyed that interview with Mr. Dirty Dango. We'll see him next week here in Las Vegas at Sam's Town. Big card show with Power Play Sports Collectibles, as well as 3 nights of Impact Wrestling activity. The pay-per-view No Surrender Friday night, and then TV taping Saturday and Sunday. A lot of stuff going on. We'll be there doing our show. I'll be there helping with announcements. These guys, Chief has his own table, helping Power Play. We got a lot of stuff. John's even going to be there for this. Listen, guys.
The wives are coming in to help out.
We might as well just freaking take over Sam's Town next week.
We pretty much are.
I know that's all right.
The family is together.
That's right. All right.
Arrested the last time I tried that.
Thank you, Tom
Stay out
Crawford.
of the South.
Yes. Thank you, Tom Crawford, for your comment on the interview with Dango. We greatly appreciate it. Again, folks, apologize for some of the audio. He was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. If you're not familiar with that part of the state, country, there's a lot of Amish folks that live down there, and so that should explain why Wi-Fi reception is not so good. Anyway.
Horse and buggy.
Horse and buggy. So they have to go to like some major town to get shopping, don't they, or something?
Yes.
They have to go for hours. So, but I thought I forgot Barry Horowitz was on the show this past week, and he actually won his match. And then what did they do? 50. Who was supposed to get like 50 wins in a row? And if they get 50, they can get a title shot. So Barry gets his first one, goes in the bag, goes right with these guys actually, and I'm 1-0. Well, sure, your next opponent will be Rhino. Oh, thank you. I'm good. See ya. I'm done. Pat himself on the back. 61 years old. Give the guy credit. He was in the ring at 61 doing that stuff.
Oh, while I'm thinking about it, did you see the new figures coming out?
I have not. For who?
The Impact ones?
No. It's going to be DX. DX. It's going to be Owen Nash, and then it's going to be Hulk and
the NWO, like Hasbro looking figures.
Man, that's going to be. Awesome.
Listen, those
They're
are all
awesome.
great. Those are all great. But you know what they're missing? TCA figures. That's what we need. Bobbleheads, figures.
Talk to Sin Bodie.
We need it all. But he has connection to that?
Sin makes them.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, we have a connection. Wait a minute. Newsflash. All right, bring it up.
Bobblehead.
No, we can get bobbleheads.
Well, you've been telling me that for a year and a half with Corey, and I still haven't gotten the information for you.
Anyway,
not right now.
Oh.
Anyway, compliments of Power Sports Card, Mr. Hosey next Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday
guest.
Some of the names.
Papa Shango,
Sunday.
Sabu, Anthony Miller, Sin Bodie, Rikishi, and then we're going to go down to the Impact. We're going to have Tommy Dreamer. We're going to have Alicia, Eddie Edwards, Heath Rhino, Trey Miguel, Death Oz, Giselle and Jay, and Rick Swan. There you have it.
There you go. That's some of the Sunday fun that is expected. I'll tell you what, I can't wait to go back and rewatch the show on the feed on Facebook, because I'm catching glimpses of the conversation between Thomas and Ronald. And let me tell you, if we could have a match right now between the two of them,
Yeah, that would be fun.
it would be a lot of fun to see these two. But they're having a good time. I got to go back and read it for entertainment later on. Anyway, good stuff. Thank you again, Impact, Ross, Scott, and of course, Dirty Dango. All right, speaking of surrender, fellas, we might as well jump right into it. Let's talk about the action next week, shall we? Make some predictions.
On.
All right, we're going to start at the bottom of the list, so work our way up. It looks like the way I have it listed here, the top line is probably going to be the main. I think we're safe with that, yes? So let us start with their countdown. They have 2 matches scheduled, which is sort of like their pre-show stuff, right? Is that right? Yes. Right. Mike Bailey will take on Jonathan Gresham.
I think Jonathan Gresham will get the win.
Okay.
It'll be a good match.
I think so, too.
I'm going to go with the speedball.
Okay.
Mr. Mike Bailey.
I'm going to go with Gresham. And one thing that surprised me when I saw him, again this week on Impact in that backstage segment with Santino and Dango was I didn't realize that how short Gresham is based on the way they were set up. I mean, what is he? He's got to be like 5'6", maybe 5'7".
5'6".
But obviously, he's built like a brick house. I mean, look who he's married to. They're both working out.
He's a great wrestler.
Yes,
totally.
ROH champ for quite some time, right?
But I think
has bad taste.
He left for a while, and now he's coming back. And I really think the Speedball is going to get a little push.
All right. Other countdown: Deanna Purrazzo will take Giselle Shaw with our, again, as mentioned earlier, local favorite Jay Vidal will be there
He
ringside.
just got put on the Wall of Fame at FSW too.
I saw that. That's correct. Congratulations to that as well. So, Purrazzo, Shaw.
Purrazzo's wasted on the countdown show, but T. Purrazzo is going to win.
I think if Jay gets involved, Chiefs breaking the kendo stick out, jumping the rail. Deanna Purrazzo all the way.
Wow, I'm surprised. As a supporter of Jay, I'm surprised either one of you haven't gone the other way.
He's cheating.
He's cheating. You don't like cheaters?
No.
All right, then I'll take Deanna Purrazzo. Stay on the safe side of Chief. All right, let's get into the during the main card itself. The Busted Open live segment with Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer, hosted by Dave LaGreca. There's nothing to predict here other than chaos and madness will probably ensue. I think LaGreca will probably get decked somewhere along the line, or maybe do his lean off the apron that he's so noted for. But I don't know what to expect here to even call this anything.
My ultimate dream of this segment is that since Devon got released by the WWE, Devon returns to Impact Wrestling, and they 3D Tommy Dreamer through the Busted Open table.
Interesting.
Epic. Take my money.
That would be a momentous occasion.
Momentous.
That's
we have a podcast. I think of good things.
I think we're going to see Mickey and Sasha get involved. I think they'll get involved somehow with this segment here.
Yeah, I think it was from as well at some point.
Maybe Santino comes out and puts Greca. Maybe we can suggest that to him Saturday. He can go put the Greca through the table.
Yeah, but that'll be Saturday.
Been over
right.
Okay.
You could say to him, it would have been nice if. Assuming it does. Here's the thing, behind the curtain, Devon and Bully the last couple of years have not really been on the same page. Is that right?
There's enough money in front of them.
Of course. And of course, the Usos take their cap to them 1D. There's no question. All right. So the Busted Open segment, who really knows? I'm
It's
sure
going to turn into a fight.
it turned into something. That's for damn sure. Maybe a shit show is probably the best way to try it. The Bullet Club will take on the Motor City Machine Guns. That's the X-Man tag. Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Motor City and Kushida. Thoughts on this one?
Bullet Club.
Okay.
For life.
The Guns for life.
You mean Time Machine? Guns plus Kushida.
Yes. Motor City Machine Guns.
I'd like to go with the Bullet Club because again, local favorite Chris Bay is in there. I want to see him get a good result here in his hometown, so to speak.
Wrestlers never have like a good. Nothing good ever happens in their hometown.
I'm wishing.
And I got to say though, I like Ace Austin.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good, and of course I like Chris. That goes without saying.
All right, the Impact World Championship #1 contender match: PC, Brian Myers, Heath, and Steve Macklin. I think this is up for grabs in this match. I don't know if it's really clear, but an obvious winner. I think this is truly a match, in my opinion.
I want to see PCO, so at least for him to go against Josh Alexander.
Okay.
Because Josh Alexander's had an answer for everything except for the mystery that is PCO.
Okay. That's a great point.
You look at it, Heath needs to win because of his children.
Right.
Okay. PCO.
Right.
It goes without saying, as Mr. Dango Dirty said, Carl Ouellette, one of the best in the business. We've seen him take bumps. You know, we had Brian Myers on last week, class guy. Steve Macklin. Hey.
Well, that would give us an interesting point to talk with him about today, one way or the other.
Myself, I'm with Brian Myers.
Okay. Burnett puts in there that Edwards is going to cost PCO somewhere along the match. But if this fatal four-way, though, there's no holds barred, there's no countouts, right? There's, you can have outside interference, whatever. First pin wins traditionally in these kind of matches. And a lot like Chief said, I think there's good connection to all four of these wrestlers for this match and want to see them win. I think of all of these guys, the underdog in this match is Heath, in my opinion. I think you can put on the next level maybe Macklin and Myers as favorites, so to speak. PCO would be more of a nostalgic win, don't you think? I mean, would that be more of a nostalgic kind of win for him? I mean,
he can still go.
So let me ask you this question. Of the four, who do you think would be the best matchup against Alexander down the line?
Myers.
Your thoughts?
Steve Macklin.
Neither one of you helped me with I've been stalling this whole time asking these questions. Come over
and neither
one of you have helped me either way.
I want like PCO versus Josh Alexander just because the guy who he'll fly everywhere and do anything to the mat wrestler is like a good contrast to styles.
All right, you convinced me. I'll go with PCO.
I think to be honest, I think any of the four would be a good match with Josh.
Yeah.
Any of the four. So
I'll tell you,
these guys.
I'm gonna be so entertained between the conversation later on today between Thomas and Ronald. Impact Digital Media Championship.com match. Joe Henry versus Moose.
We believe in Joe Hendry.
I can feel Chief's going to have to go to the bathroom during that match.
You're only allowed to use electronics
as weapons.
Yeah,
I like Moose. Moose.
No, but here's an example. The last time we were, well, not the last time, but we saw Moose beat Alexander when he won the match. Whoever was won, and he was world champion.
Yeah.
Huh?
Where does this type of belt, in comparison to WWE, you have the world, then you have Intercontinental, United States, etc. In terms of the lineup for Impact belts, where does this type of belt fall in line in terms of its importance?
In the toilet.
Okay, is it a 24/7 belt?
I'll say pretty much it's like a 24/7 belt because X Division is like their Intercontinental title, basically.
Okay.
So
my point is, look how far Moose has fallen.
Don't get me
in terms of the type of championships they're lining him up with.
And don't get me wrong. Okay, when I say this,
yeah,
Joe Hendry is a good wrestler.
He's got the title now, doesn't
he? And he's a good wrestler.
Sure.
I mean, I watched ROH when he was there,
right?
And he can go. Okay. But again, like I said, this is going to be, maybe I'm going to go get some nachos with cheese or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to go with Joe Hendry to retain that match.
Okay.
Next one, Impact Knockouts World Champion. The last rodeo. Is that over her last rodeo now that she's the champion? The whole thing go away? Is it still? No, still doing. Mickey James is the current champion. Masha Slamovich. Gentlemen. And viewers.
James is going to retain.
Okay.
I don't see Masha Slamovich getting Mickey James out of Impact Wrestling.
Okay.
I'm upset here.
Okay.
I'm going with Masha. Okay. I think the only way that I see Mickey staying in Impact is if a certain gentleman possibly get into Impact.
So I want you to notice.
We're naming names. Nick Aldis.
Jesus. Okay. Look at what I wrote there.
Yeah.
I wrote this during the last commercial break, going back to is Nick Aldis?
Can we read it?
My 3/4.
I can. That's all that matters.
My 3/4 half-timers kicked in. I couldn't think of his damn name. It happened. So thank you.
No.
And yes, he does have it in there, but I would need my reading glasses to read it.
But here's my thing.
If Thomas would have wrote a translator.
No, but you make the N out and the A out. But
It's
anyway,
almost like Thomas's chicken scratch.
is Nick Aldis a much larger free agent than Jay White?
No.
See, that's what
NWA champion forever, but nobody cares about NWA.
Right. It was just
with their TV deal. If you ask like 100 wrestling fans who Nick Aldis is, and you ask 100 fans who Jay White is, I don't know. The thing might be close, but I think Jay White would win it just off.
Didn't Nick wrestle over in Japan though?
A
If I
little
remember right. So he's known. All right, he's known. I just think that it'd be a good one for Impact to bring Nick in.
Oh yeah, it'd be a big get.
And pay-per-view, I believe. And Thomas, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I got the Jay White. It's the last pay-per-view that they had. A hell of a nice guy.
That was at the New Japan show they had here.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell of a nice guy. And I'll tell you, you see, this is a wrestling fan story. When you go and you pay your money to get an autograph, and company tries to say, well, we're going to cut it off here. And you have the wrestler saying to the company, no, you're not going to cut it off there. I'm going to sign all the people that's in line because they paid for my autograph. So that's the caliber of a Jay White, and that's the caliber of most of the wrestlers that we meet. I'll just leave it at Dirty Dango. I'm looking forward to meeting you, brother. Believe me. At Sam's Town, 24, 25, 26, Impact Wrestling. 25, 26, the card show sponsored by Power Play Sports and Collectibles, Mr. Scott Hosey. Thank you all very much.
I'm going to take Mickey James Tane just because.
You can do that.
All right.
You're allowed.
I did.
I just put a cheap plug in.
No, that's fine. I didn't
That
stop
was
it, did I?
pretty
I didn't
cheap.
stop it. That was
However much he charges for that.
That was pretty
we
good.
don't call it cheap pop. We call it the beef pop.
That was pretty good. So,
Impact World Championship. Josh Alexander taking on Rich Swann.
your Dango got me all worked up, man. Yeah.
You show me your training method.
He probably teach me. Now, see, I'm
Alexander Swann.
Alexander.
I go
to retain.
I go Josh Alexander retain, and it's going to be the match of the night.
Okay. We're going to make that a hat trick. I will take Josh Alexander.
Does Kenny King get involved in this match?
No.
Because him and Rick had a little altercation.
True.
So I wonder if Kenny might do something in this match. There's another Las Vegas homegrown guy, Mr. Kenny King.
That's right.
King, King. I think that's how he does it, doesn't he?
Speaking of Rich Swann, I wonder when Sue Young is going to come back.
She's I know Jason Marples, who's over in Tennessee now. Moved down from Indiana over to Tennessee. He's doing
Poor guy.
He's doing a big show up around Gatlinburg. Huge show. And
huge show in a town I've never heard of in my life.
Gatlinburg? You need to get out of Nevada, son. There's some nice places around the world.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Sue's
They're not in Tennessee though.
Sue's going to be signing
Oh,
on the
nice.
show. Yeah. And so evidently she's getting back into the wrestling business now that the baby's almost a year old.
Hopefully she shows up with Rich.
Be nice. She's a nice lady too. Very nice.
Ronald shares that she has been doing some independent shows in Florida in the meantime as well. All right. Before we get ready to swing into some birthdays, let's cover a couple of WWE news items.
Where are we at? We're on the
As
front
we're
page,
yes,
Ken?
we're on the front page.
Okay.
As
Vegas.
WWDBTV.
That's what they told me.
As WWE is preparing for marketing for WrestleMania, it looks like they'll be filming some movie parodies, just as they did WrestleMania. Were hilarious. I think they were very well done. I love the question. What would be the best movie parody to do given the current roster? What movie would you like to see them parody? Matt, what do you think? You obviously had
I've
something
been
in mind
thinking
when you
of
wrote this.
this.
Top one, very first one.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to see like Bray Wyatt do Psycho or Alexa
Who would be in the
Bliss do
shower?
Carrie.
Who would be in the shower if you did Psycho? Hello, mother. And he goes in, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. That would be. I mean, that would be the scene to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or Jack Nicholson in his movie where he breaks the door down. Here's Jack, something like that.
There's a ton of them you can do, like comedy spoofs with like street fits or Truth could do like.
Oh my God, I could see him doing. I was gonna say I could see like Eddie Murphy either coming to America 48 Hours. He's a Mel singing. I could see that would be. I think that would be how to see Truth. People forget he's titles Truth. As a matter of fact, I saw a clip come my feed. They were talking about some of the top 10 best belt, championship winners, and Truth was number 4 for TNA / Impact back in the day. So we kind of forget that. Who has no idea what we're talking about? I have no idea. Who are you talking that to? To us or them?
To you guys.
To us?
I don't know. Hey, they could do.
But now you know where
they could do
so
whatever.
You should not.
You know who'd be a good one?
That's why I asked.
Sammy. He broke Roman up.
Right. So what would be a good movie for him to parody as a commercial for WrestleMania?
Shh, brother, I don't watch movies.
What TV show?
Let me think on it.
Okay. Speaking of TV show,
I don't want dead air.
TCA. Could you imagine?
Let me think about this.
In the Young Rock episode,
that would be awesome.
We know in
You
the
know
past,
what would be a good one? MASH.
And
I'm trying to think of the oldest TV
and who
show
would
you
he
can
play in
think
that?
of.
I'm interested.
Frank.
Sammy would play. You know what?
Hell yeah.
Okay, all right.
Hell
All
yeah.
right, that's a good one. I like that one. Or Klinger.
Yeah, he could.
But Frank is good though.
No,
I like Frank.
I like
That's a
Frank.
good one.
Frank.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I played him in a play once back in the day.
I feel
Frank.
bad.
know.
I feel for you.
I know. What can I tell you? All right. But that's that'll be a lot
I
of fun.
actually did Scopes monkey trials.
Did you really?
Yeah. In college.
Oh my
Were
goodness.
you the monkey?
At the Egg House with place C. Yeah.
Wow.
Look.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Cody Rhodes said belt for WrestleMania will feature logos of all the indie promotions he worked for while away from WWE. Will it include AEW, Impact, and ROH? Interesting. Technically, they shouldn't, right? As in, except for maybe ROH. ROH was always considered, wasn't it?
Kind of, yeah. It was always like one of the. I think any wrestling company that's on TV, I don't know, you can necessarily consider them a indie promotion anymore, but.
Well, there's television, and then there's television. You know what I mean? What's that?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Well, I think it's an interesting. I think it's an interesting knot that he recognized where he's come from. I think is an interesting thing. After he left WWE and he started doing all the indie stuff before he went to AEW, I think we really saw a turn in Cody that we never really saw in WWE. And I think the tip the cap to some of these promotions, I think is good. Even though our main TV screen just went black on us, John, but now it just came up.
That, and I think it's like a huge story just because.
That's Bray Wyatt. We're gonna see Uncle Howdy pop up on the screen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think it's a big story just because it's WrestleMania, and to have like an indie promotions logo featured at WrestleMania could be life changing for these companies. That's like Patrick Mahomes having like some random logo on his jersey.
Like
Everyone's
TCA
like, "Oh,
logo?
what the hell is this?"
Like a TCA logo?
Do you mean like independent promotions?
Yeah, like what if you like FSW, Freak Show,
Territories.
Yeah.
I finally got into the territories. Yes. One for the.
Oh, right. Well, here's something that would make a splash. If you have $9 million hanging around, or $1 billion hanging around in your bank account, you too could WWE for that very low price coming in the near future. $9 billion is the reported price from Vince McMahon to purchase
You can
WWE.
have WWDBTV for half.
That's okay.
Great. Here's my first $1.50. I'll contribute.
That's what he wants to try.
Well, do you think there's? I know there's companies, Saudi Arabia, they can't even if it's a real price. He may be just putting the price out there, thinking no one's really going to step, which means I'll be in charge of this forever. And he's got his hands in Sami Zayn bloodline storyline tonight.
I hope not. I hope not.
Whatever asking he wants.
Yeah, but I want to say this. This is the one that's important to me.
Please.
Roman Reigns passes 900 days as champ.
Yep.
I'm very, very thankful for that. I think he, in the modern era, I think he has portrayed a heel champion very, very well. Could he continue on? Possibly, possibly not. We'll find out tonight. Very happy for him. And as our favorite other show, Mr. Drew said this morning, it's, and that's why I brought it out. We always see the good guy losing to the heel. Could we possibly see the heel losing to a good guy tonight?
Well, I think one thing that's interesting is with 900 days, 1,000 days is an interesting number to reach. But unfortunately, 1,000 wrestling because you're talking another 100 days. That's 3 months.
What would be the show after WrestleMania?
SummerSlam. Well, he does.
What?
It's in May.
Okay. I don't.
They tend to get the real WrestleMania. So
I don't think.
I mean, SummerSlam would be the next one to celebrate it. But SummerSlam would be after 100 days. Yeah, but you want to celebrate 1,000 days. Total minimum total.
Do you imagine if they could time it right? And just to really mess with everybody, Roman loses it on 999 days.
And then he wins it back the next night. Everybody is saying it'll be a combined total number of days. You can see that too.
They did that with Bruno.
Yeah.
But they did.
Yes, they did. They always tend to do that. They always tend to do that with champions. Total number of days that a championship was held. They always do that. But keeping it for 900 days.
Where would be the interest? You brought up the interesting point, though, 1,000 days. Where would be the interesting place for him to lose it? Where did he win it at? Do we know?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Thomas will probably know.
But
So wait for that to come up in the chat room.
Wouldn't it be interesting if WWE went back to where he won it and he lost it there?
But here's the thing. If he goes into WrestleMania with the belt still on him,
right,
and he loses, like we're all talking about maybe to Cody, he won't reach 1,000 days anyway. Mathematically.
No, and I agree with you.
So,
but I don't want to see Roman lose to Cody. Okay,
that's cool.
Just my opinion.
Yeah, and I think we all agree, though, that opinion is in the minority. What we're seeing. So, but listen, that's what makes it great. All the stuff we're sitting there prognosticating about is just that. It's prognostication because we really don't know what's in the minds of Connecticut. He won it September of 2020 inside the Thunderdome. Thank you, Thomas.
That ain't gonna happen.
And the WWE title he won at WrestleMania last year.
Right. But well, so that's interesting. Think about this then. He's been the universal. How do you want to consider his championships? How many days he's been the universal combined champion between carrying both belts? Or talking it, obviously we're talking as a champion because he had one before the other.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we split hairs there?
Whichever one
gets Cody the belt. Make it happen, Captain.
This would be interesting. He keeps the one belt. That's the 900 days.
Well, that would be the universal belt itself, not the WWE belt.
Then he loses the WWE belt to Cody. All right. Now, the WWE, is that the red one or the blue one?
That's the black one.
That's the black one.
The blue one is the universal.
Well, what's the red one he carries?
No more red one.
There is no red one.
Oh.
That used to be the Raw belt, and then the blue was the SmackDown, but now he's carrying blue as the universe,
So the SmackDown belt's the one that he's got 900 days on.
Correct.
Yes.
Then he keeps that one and loses the other one. Then he goes to SummerSlam, bada boom, or Thunderdome, 1,000 days, he loses it. They do a lot. How about this? They do a live show on the 1,000th day.
Okay.
Wherever it's from, and he loses.
What's up, Sean?
Hey, Sean, long time no see, buddy. Hope all is well with you and the family. Interesting stuff, but you know what's even more interesting?
Happy birthday.
It is some birthday celebrations. That's right. That's right. It is birthday time. If you are celebrating a birthday today, the 18th, through next Friday, the 24th, you are celebrating a birthday with these beautiful people. Today, in the wrestling world, that we know of on the 18th. However, tomorrow, Francine, El Torito, Sean Spears, who's now a father, Jack Gallagher, Danny Doring, and John Stud. 20th, Kel Kim, Killian Dane, Antonio Inoki, and the original Nature Boy, the Rogers. I don't for that one. He's the only one that knows from. Anyway, February 21st.
Thank the first monster.
That's true. I forgot about that. Sorry, I take it back.
Thank you very much.
21st, birth of Faye. Is that Brodius Club?
Brodius Club.
I thought I was Vanessa
That's
there.
a D.
Carlino.
Tommy. I don't write like Tom. I
like one of my elementary kids.
Put that paper up there.
Okay. Carlos. Tom Mercer. Crimson West Briscoe. February 22nd, Max Muzzle. And Super Callow. Fraudulent Expialidocious. Super Callow. February 23rd. Nobody on the 23rd. I will go back to the 18th, however. February 24th. Yes. Corey Graves. Shinsuke Nakamura, which I think is one of the best names to try to say in wrestling. And back on the 8th. Go ahead.
And we're the 18th. My buddy right to the left of me. Aaron's mom.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Mom has been celebrating. Thank you for that. My dad's birthday was 2 days ago, but today is my mom's birthday. So my dad, we went out for dinner. We took him to BJ's, which is his favorite place.
BJ's Brew House.
One up on
Zuka.
Anyway, happy birthday, everybody. And for next week, we're going to announce if you have a birthday that you want us to announce or an anniversary or something of note, we will be in front of a live audience down at doing our show there. And what better to imagine? That is next weekend. Who will send you an email to remind you? Could you imagine? Picture this.
Who do I get to embarrass next week?
No. Embarrass
yourself is.
But besides the usual tits.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Imagine next. I don't know the time of who's coming on next week, Macklin or Alexander, or whatever. But maybe while one of them are on, especially the second hour, whoever it is, whatever time it is,
I have a birthday.
Maybe we'll have them do the birthday list as a little special edition.
Okay.
Sure.
Hey, I got breaking.
I expect a little more, but that's okay.
I have breaking news.
Break it.
2 more signers.
2 more signers
coming in next week. D'Lo Brown.
Ooh.
And the FSW champion and stop in the world, Miss Van.
Wow.
At Sam's Town.
There you go. Very, very nice. I'm up there. All right. So we have birds. So put it on our Facebook page.
You know, that would be interesting. Who
that's right. Keep
who
going.
would you want to get to sign or to come in to read?
The bird. I got another idea. Let's say we have Josh Alexander in the second hour. I don't know if first. I don't remember. But
be right.
You write out your birthday list, right?
Right.
And on the back,
I'll do half and half.
What? No, well, we can do that. But here's what.
Okay. What do you want me?
Whoever does the list, let's say no. Do your list like normal.
Right.
On the back side, whoever does it, Josh or Macklin,
right?
We have them autographed it, and then we put it up for auction to raise money for a cause.
That's good.
That
I like that.
I like so. And you know what? We'll get both of them to sign it.
Sure.
But we'll see how it goes. Whoever does it, maybe we'll get them to draft it. Then we'll sign it off the. That's it. Raise money for the charity, whatever that is. We haven't even done that this year. We always wait till last. Yes, sir.
You know our banner?
Yes.
Why not get them to sign our banner?
You know what? Get everybody, but then what do we can't give it away though. We can't use it as a fundraiser.
Why not?
We're gonna give away our you're talking about our retractable banner? Yeah. You want to give away our retractable banner?
We could think about it.
We're gonna have to order a new one then.
Well,
it'll be cheaper to just have them sign a piece of paper and mail it to the banner and ship it.
I know people that know people.
Exactly. Well, we'll talk
Just
about
a
it.
thought.
Yes, we'll talk about that. We will see.
Is she
And
still in the
what does it say?
chat?
Yeah, I don't. She hasn't said anything since hello.
Good.
I'll write the birthday list, and we can see if they can read it. No, Thomas, you will not touch the birthday list this week.
I will break your fingers.
Worst case scenario, we can always have it typed out, but Chief's handwriting is more than enough. So.
Has anybody told Thomas that we're flying Ronald in for next weekend?
Oh no, I haven't. I was waiting.
We were. That was going to be breaking news.
You spoiled the surprise.
Or
But
are we flying Thomas out?
or we fly. You know what? That would probably be cheaper. Flights going out of Vegas are cheaper than coming in.
And just to be extra nice to Thomas, we're gonna fly him Spirit.
oh, all right. So that's a great tease. That's a great tease.
Then we're going to have frozen peas on it, and they can throw it down the aisle towards your seat.
So at the top of the hour in Aaron's hour, when I start my show, I had to fly back east due to a funeral, and I had a 48-hour. Anyway, my return flight was Spirit coming out of Newark. Okay, yeah, exactly. Notice I'm back in Vegas, but that's because I flew home not on Spirit. I'm going to share the story of what happened. Okay. And I'm never flying, booking anything. I don't even know if I want to call it ghost spirits anymore.
See, you made a mistake.
What's that?
When all that happened,
yes,
you should have called me. I would have called Uncle Guido real quick. We'd have had it fixed.
I know. Are you sure you still want the Savannah bananas now? Because I don't think you're gonna like the color yellow.
Listen,
with their big ass yellow ugly plane.
I'll tell you what. If we, I won't have to see their plane, do I? I won't have to see their plane.
No,
but if we can arrange it, if they come dressed in all yellow, that's okay.
Okay.
I'll think of it as a sun broken up into pieces.
No, everything they do is yellow.
You know what?
Everything.
Ronald, here's an additional step for your job. Working with the Savannah Bananas, we want jerseys that say Savannah Bananas on them. TCA, names, numbers. We want some shirts that say that. How's that for a little challenge if they get up here? So just us. Since Thomas isn't here, he doesn't get one. Anyway,
I want one. And
all right, so four.
Top banana.
There you go. And one that have to say top banana for John. Anyway,
mine's got to say big banana.
Big banana split with the 3/4 half imers.
Yeah.
That's for females.
The number 3/4.
3/4 on the back. You know, I got to tell you, every shirt that we ordered, the jerseys, I actually try to get that, but I can't get any of it. I can't get that company to put 3/4 as a number.
It's 3/4 of a banana and full of nuts.
Speaking about next week. Next Saturday.
Yes.
What shirt are we wearing?
I have no idea. We'll talk about that. That's right. Actually,
no, this is important stuff.
We can wear the new football one since we won't have the screen behind us.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that?
That's what I think.
Didn't we talk about that last week? Anyway?
I just wanted to double
Gotcha.
check.
We decided that last week.
I thought
That's
so.
okay.
All right. So where you're, Thomas, if you're going to do your job next week,
there.
wear the new TCA football jerseys. All right. Very
Mr.
good.
Hosey, wear yours too.
That's right.
Remember, Thomas, it's at Sunset Station.
Hey.
Ronald, we'll send you the directions to get over there from the airport when you land.
He's going to be there before you guys.
Who's that?
Thomas.
What time does he get?
Only because you're
6
picking him
o'clock
up.
with me.
Well, that's your
picking him
that's
up.
your problem.
Ain't your problem, man. It's right on the way.
Well, I'll
So
probably
he'll be there.
Well, if John's getting there at 7-ish, I'll probably get there around 7 just
Is
to be
that
there.
next weekend?
I think it's next weekend. Yes, absolutely.
So I mean,
See, even Thomas says. I thought we decided that weeks
all
ago.
seriousness aside, Impact Wrestling, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 24, 25, 26, Sam's Town. Pay-per-view Friday night at 5 p.m. start time. Saturday and Sunday will be TV tapings. But the 25th and 26th, put on by Mr. Scott Hosey and Power Play Sports Cards, there will be a huge card show, collectibles, pops.
It's going to be huge.
What else?
It's going to be epic.
What else? And
We're going to be there. What else
gonna
do you want?
We're going to be there Saturday, 9 to 11, TCA, followed by Aaron's Hour,
12 o'clock.
And we're going to have people on discussing wrestling. We're going to have the director of authority on Aaron's Hour, and
Some dirty old man.
and Mr. John will be there, and we're going to have
He must have been talking about Scott.
we're going to have people signing autographs.
We'll
both
even sign.
Saturday and Sunday.
We'll even sign. We got to get pictures done so we can sign. What do you think about that?
Hey, maybe I'm going to put a can out.
Tips accepted.
Tips for Chief's new teeth.
All right.
Trying to upgrade from the wooden ones.
Yeah.
All right. With that, before anybody takes another
Tips for choppers.
There you go.
tips for choppers. All right. Before we get our show bitten off the screen, I don't know. I know I was going to go with that.
Where are we at?
All right. 1 hour from now, my guests will be Renee and Bobby Peoples. They are local film makers and producers. They have a lot of movies out there. We're going to talk with them about how they came to Vegas, how they got the production company started, and what type of movies they have going on, and what networks you'll be able to find their movies on. So that's a 12. And I may have a couple other people that might pop in. I don't have it confirmed yet, so there may be 2 more.
And to Impact, Mr. Ross, thank you very much. Power Play Sports, Mr. Scott Hosey, thank you very much for allowing us for next week to have. We're definitely going to have some fun.
Absolutely, and again, thank you to Dirty Dango for for joining us, Mr. Dirty Dango. Sorry, Mr. Dirty Dango.
That's Mr. Dirty.
All I know is you've given John an extra hour of editing today to get a show up on Roku. So anyway, if you want to watch any part of the show again, why? I don't know, other than if you find us entertaining. No, seriously, go back to our Facebook page, WWDBTV YouTube channel. And for all of you that have the Roku service, download the WWDBTV channel. Not only will you see TCA, Aaron's Hour, The Roundtable, Kiwanis Connects, but you'll see shows cybersecurity. You'll see
Double Exposure.
Give me some shows real fast. Double exposure.
What's your story?
What's your story? Do it with Styles. Do it with Styles.
Do it with Styles.
All kinds of good shit. So check it out on the Roku channel, WWDBTV.
And Scary Little Shorts.
That's what? Scary Little Shorts.
You guys messed up.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Yes.
Matt.
I had a really epic story time with Matt, and it never even happened.
We'll do it. We got time. Go. Let's go. We got time. We own the studio for this time.
You want to do story time?
Yeah,
with Matt?
I'm sorry. You know what? I'm at it. That's my bad. I apologize.
Story time.
Here we go. Here it comes. Late, but it's coming.
And now here is your storytelling host, Matt Mullen, the Mr. Rogers of the Fremont Street neighborhood. Take it away, Matt. What's happening in the neighborhood?
In this neighborhood, it's not Spirit Airlines, but
Wait a minute, I got my handkerchief out in case I got to cry. So go ahead.
Valentine's Day, Tuesday. We get a call. The wedding chapel in our building was so busy. There was a line like waiting for people to get in. The wedding chapel calls me and they're like, "Hey, this crazy guy's like headbutting our window." And I was like, "All right, I'll head up there." One of our elevators were broken, so the other elevator was taking forever. And I saw it wasn't moving, and I was like, "Great." So I run up the escalator, and out of the corner of my eye, I see the elevator going up to the 3rd floor. And this guy thought he'd be real slick by blocking the entrance of the elevator so he couldn't use it. And they were like, he went up to the 3rd floor. So I ran up the stairs, and I see the elevator go back down, and then he barricades it again. And I'm like, this dude's really thinking he's slick. And I'm like going to the stairs, and then I see stuff flying off the 2nd floor. He grabbed like our maintenance people's like garbage can and like all this stuff, and he's like throwing it off the 2nd floor.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like, oh, this dude's gonna get it. So we go running down the stairs. And then I hear like this loud noise, and he's trying to break into the museum, like physically trying to pry the door open. And he looks over and sees us coming, and he's like, oh shit. And he runs to the elevator, but since he barricaded the elevator, he was stuck in it. I hit this dude so hard against the wall.
How hard did you hit him?
The elevator moved.
And you're not talking up or down either, are you?
So then we get him to the office, and I'm like, I don't really feel like calling Metro. You didn't really cause that much damage. You didn't really cause damage. You're just being obnoxious. Give me your name. I'll trespass you internally, and I'll kick you loose. And he was like, my name's God. And I was like, oh, we're not doing this. Give me your name. Give me your name and date of birth. That's all I need. I'll take these handcuffs off, and you can leave. Gives me like 5 fake names, and I was like, all right, I'm calling the marshals. The marshals come, and they were like, what's your name? He gives them the same bull crap. And he was like, all right, we're not playing this. Get in the back of the car. You're going to jail. So he went for
a ride.
He went for a ride, and hopefully he doesn't get out for a while because that guy was super annoying.
Jeez. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, really.
Whole different Valentine's Day massacre.
It was kind of funny when I grabbed him. There was a lot of people like watching, so I got like a standing ovation for like bringing him out of the elevator, which I thought was funny.
There you go. That's when you do good things for good people. All right. Again, do me a favor. Starting next week, would you put Matt's story at the top of the run sheet so I don't forget? I'm so sorry, and I don't forget. But
that was a great story.
It was. I'm glad we got to it. And I'm glad
the elevator's okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the other one's fixed too.
I just want to make sure the elevator's okay. To hell with the guy.
By the way, I wanted special shout out to someone in the chat room. I just want you to read that. I'm going to make a comment on it right now. Special shout out to someone we haven't seen in a while. And John, I apologize, we're running over. Jamie Palmer, big fan of the shows. We haven't seen him in a while. Been busy taking care of himself, being healthy. And it's so glad, Jamie, to see you pop in and be with us today. Glad you have tools to kind of help you through it. But just remember, please, you're connected to the three of us. Worst case scenario on Facebook. Drop us a line. Drop us something. We'll call you back. We are here for you, my friend. And again, thank you for saying what you did about my book. If my book is helping you in any way, shape, or form, God bless you. Then you, sir, are the reason I wrote my book. All right. Quickly, final thoughts as we say goodbye in overtime. We even get to pop culture, Super Bowl in Rio. So we'll do that next week.
Whatever.
That's next week's news.
Everybody have a good, safe week. Stay warm. Jamie, if you ever need somebody to talk to, my phone's always open. I never mind talking to anybody.
Folks, have a great week. Jamie, the Chiefs here in your corner, brother. Anything you need, let me know. Folks, been enjoyable. See you all at Sam's Town next week.
Absolutely. My brothers here couldn't say it any better. We'll see you next week, top of the hour, Aaron's Hour. Join me. I've got the peoples joining us and maybe a couple surprise guests. As always, be kind to everybody. Why is that? We're all we have. Have a great week from all of us.
Got it on a t-shirt.
I got it on a shirt. That's right, I do. ThoughtsCountanywhere.com. Actually, that shirt's on my website, aaronshour.vegas. Either way, we love you all. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week live from Sam's Town. See ya.
Peace and chicken.